You've tuned into Bellingham Podcast Media Tech for the week of October 3, 2016, episode 15. I'm AJ Barcet.
And I'm Chris Powell. On this episode of BPM Tech, it's a technology lightning round. AJ and I discuss the latest developments from the big tech companies just in time for the holiday gift-giving season. We have a foreign correspondent coming to us from overseas. We'll tell you more about it later. And we'll share our favorite spots to visit in the Puget district of Bellingham. All that and more next on BPM Tech.
Is it the Puget district or Puget?
It could be Puget, depending on how cosmopolitan or egalitarian you are.
Oh, heck, it's Bellingham. Hey, Chris, where are we?
We are in the Lettered Streets Coffee House again.
Woohoo!
Yes, it's a place so nice we got to do a podcast twice.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Yeah. No, it's like we went to Berkeley Woods last time, and kind of like retracing our steps. Maybe we're in a bit of a circuit now, but you know, it's a nice place, and it's a overcast day, but it's a pre-fall afternoon.
It's got a little bit groovy track going on. I feel very mellow right now.
A little bit of the soundtrack to get us into a mellow mood, I would say.
Hey, just be mellow. What are you drinking, sir?
AJ, I am still not doing caffeine, but I'm doing an Italian soda with raspberry. Thank you very much.
Now, how are we doing with the whole caffeine detoxing and anti-junk junk?
Thank you for asking. I am doing just fine. Sleeping all right. You know, not really that bitter and grumpy, and I'm just enjoying the almost 2 months of not having that in my life.
Huzzah! So
Yeah.
Are you feeling any clearer? I mean,
yeah, I'd say so. I mean, what is clear? We can get into a philosophical discussion there. I just feel like I'm me.
Good.
And I don't feel like I'm ready to go 100 miles an hour and be like, you know, do so many things that I want to do so many things, and I want to do so many things. I'm just me, and it's just normal. And you know, I don't crash in the afternoon. I get a decent amount of sleep, and I'm actually waking up at a consistent time every morning.
hey.
Which is going to be a problem when we fall back.
I was
an
going to
hour.
say, just in time to fall back an hour.
Because 5 o'clock a.m. will turn into 4 a.m. When that time comes, then I'm going to be up a creek. But I may be able to adjust my circadian rhythm in a different way. Who knows? But
Dig it.
I might hack that later on. So, AJ, what are you drinking? That looks like a tasty beverage.
It is. It's a little bit different. I'm doing a London Fog.
London Fog.
Yeah, so it's basically an Earl Grey tea in milk.
All right.
Hot milk. So it's nice on an overcast day, I feel.
You need to get some milk.
I need to get some milk, sir.
No, it's something the kids are saying nowadays.
Jolly good.
Anyway, yes. So this episode, we have a foreign correspondent overseas.
Yeah, from the land of the rising sun, our unofficial BPM field correspondent, Daniel Kolbeck. You've probably heard him before. He was our first person who ever gave us a listener voicemail. Also a very good friend of mine and fellow geek at arms, and also a serviceman. He's in the armed forces in the Department of the Navy. And so anyway, I hit Danny up because in Tokyo they have a lot of various geekery, symposiums, and there was a really big one on gaming. And I'm kind of, as much as you and I are in the field of tech, like gaming is its own ecosystem, okay? And I'm a little bit removed from it. Like I've got a PS3, I just got a PS4, more on that later. But like I don't really keep up with it, like the hardware, the what's what, you know, I know VR is a thing, maybe, I don't know, but who's VR, right? And so Danny was actually there at TGS, and Tokyo Game Show. Yeah, TGS. And yeah, so he tried out all this stuff. Like he got into a VR rig. He tried out, got to get hands-on of the new PlayStation 4 Slim and the PlayStation Pro. And what those differences are, I don't remember, but he does. From the BPM desk of the Tech of the Rising Sun.
Hey guys, this is Dan, and I've got a quick overview of what I saw at Tokyo Game Show 2016. For those who don't know, TGS is the annual video game convention held in September at the Makuhari Messe Convention Center in the outskirts of Tokyo. This year marked the first time I've been able to visit since 2012, and the contrast between the two visits was stark. While some of your usual suspects were there, like the Sony PlayStation and Square Enix, and some, like Nintendo, weren't. Unfortunately, no chance to see the new Nintendo NX. The largest change was a substantial increase in design schools and indie developers that took up an entire convention hall. Now that I've covered that brief segment, here are some of my impressions. First off, the major developers have some really cool stuff coming down the pipe. I got to observe a number of folks playing the new Final Fantasy, and it looks just as good as the videos show. I've already got my pre-order in, and nothing I saw has me regretting doing so. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to play it, but what I did see, I liked. I also got to see upcoming titles like a re-release of Final Fantasy XII and another entry in the long-running Resident Evil series that has me pretty excited. Being a Navy guy, I also appreciated getting to watch two teams duke it out in a round of World of Warships. So all that's fine and good, but what I really took away wasn't the AAA titles, but the huge number of booths dedicated to mobile gaming and virtual reality. If you've paid even the slightest bit of attention to YouTube ads, you've heard of Mobile Strike. To put into context the scope of mobile gaming at TGS, their booth was roughly the same size as Koei Tecmo's. Even your larger companies, like Square Enix, had at least one mobile game to show off. After seeing all the mobile games, I took some time to play in the VR world. I spent some time at the Tokyo Design and Technology Center booth to play with their HTC Vive setup, and walked away reasonably impressed. While I'm not ready to drop some serious cash for a setup, I can see why some folks have. Coupled with the full-body VR augment suits that were on display, yes, folks got to suit up, there are some seriously cool possibilities for technology. While we're not quite to Ready Player One standards yet, I can see the road to get there. All in all, the experience was pretty cool, and if you're ever in the Tokyo area in September, I recommend going, especially given tickets are as cheap as 1,000 yen, about $10. Know that you'll brave huge crowds, hot and humid weather, and lots of standing, but it really is an experience worth having. One thing to note, though, is you'll want to know Japanese, both reading and writing, or bring someone who does. While most of the Tokyo metropolitan area is very English-friendly, TGS absolutely is not. Alright, that about does it, guys. Thanks for the opportunity to put together this segment, and continue doing what you do. Take care.
That was great. What a killer report. That was very cool. Thank you very much, Danny.
Yeah, dude. And hopefully if you like Danny's report, check him out on Twitter and on Instagram and all the others. I'll put links in the show notes. He's a pretty cool guy to follow. And he's in the heart of it in Japan. So thanks again, Danny. Absolutely. And thanks for contributing. And it's great to have another perspective on BPM. So we've got a whole lot of technology that we really haven't covered the past few podcasts. Yeah, so I feel like we needed to take a Netflix approach to this, and we're going to binge tech. All right, binge tech, I like it. Or as I like to call it, welcome to the 2016 Holiday Hunger Games, because the holiday season is coming up, and this is the time, if you haven't figured it out, the holiday season, when it's about 2 months out, all of the tech companies love to come out and show the new shiny, and because they want your dollars. Yes. But just because the newest, latest, and greatest, it may not be the greatest. I mean, it's the latest, yes, but as the new stuff comes out, a lot of the times the previous model gets discounted, and it might be just as good. So in that essence, I feel like going through some of these and kind of do it in more like a showdown, a shootout. We're not going to spend a lot of time on each question, but we can just pound out a lot of the gist of what's going on. And may the tech be ever in your favor. Well played. Yes, indeed. Well played. All right, where do we start? Okay, let's start with Apple. It's in A. We're going in alphabetical order, perhaps. Exactly. Yeah. So no more OSX. No. So OSX, Operating System X, has taken a new marketing term. They're now macOS to kind of go in line with iOS, their mobile operating system, and tvOS, the Apple TV operating system, and watchOS, their watch operating system. So at this point, the code name or the friendly name is called Sierra for the Sierra. What is the Sierra Nevada mountain range or Sierra Madre, yeah. Sierra, sure. So a lot of upgrades, about 4 gigabytes of an update. And oh, by the way, as of today, any computers, any desktops out there that are set to automatically update, you're getting Sierra. Oh, Oh, today being October 2nd, 2016.
That's right. And just hit the airwaves, but we are not a news source.
No.
I just happen to check my news feeds in the afternoon. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are an Apple iMac user or laptop user, buckle up because you're going to be getting macOS on your desktop and a shiny new wallpaper.
Yeah, I like the shiny.
One of the big things that is touted for macOS is Siri, the Apple assistant that's on most mobile devices. It is going to be on the desktop now for voice communication to
launch apps and, ask a joke and ask for, searching stuff. It's the same old, whether you love it or hate it, Siri. I mean, I've tried it. I pretty much turn it off.
And that was actually the first thing I disabled when I installed macOS, because I always like going first.
Yeah.
If it borks my machine, and yes, that is a tech term, if it borks my machine, I want to be able to publicize it because I'll take the bullet. But, it's improvements upon what's going on in macOS. But I don't know if you really want to be having Siri listening to what you have to say or what's going on in your environment.
I will turn it on when I can say, computer, Earl Grey, hot.
Indeed.
And then magically I have my London fog in front of me. But,
we'll see in about 200 years.
Maybe. I don't know. Picard had iPads, and now we have iPads. Relatively speaking. But anyway, I digress. So, yeah, macOS, now it's Sierra. We have Siri functionality, and handoff between iOS and the Mac environment's a little bit easier. And, relatively speaking, it's just it's the same OSX that we know and love with a little extra iOS kick.
And it's probably going to be a little bit easier to share the documents between your devices that you are signed in with the same Apple ID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, iCloud Drive acts a little bit more like Dropbox now, and you can get access to that. And
also, one thing about the desktop. With this latest version, I read that desktop files are being synchronized with iCloud Drive and the documents folder, I believe, as well. So it could be a built-in layer of security for some of your desktop files, because that's like one of the number one things that I'm hammering on my clients. How are you backing up those files on your desktop? And so Apple is kind of making efforts to do that for you. However, with most people's default iCloud quotas...
You mean the free one?
The free one gets you 5 gigabytes for free.
Woohoo! That's not going to last long.
So, unfortunately, 5 gigs with photos and videos and files and whatever you decide to put on there, that would go up very quickly. So, if it behooves you, you can kick it up to about 200 gigabytes, I believe, for about 99 cents a month.
Something like that. It's like $13 a year after tax.
Yeah, and for an insurance policy to make sure that you get all those, all the files saved and backed up, that might not be that bad to consider throwing down the price of a nice lunch for a year of increased Apple storage space. So
let's again, keeping with the lightning rounds, I'm going to move on to the next question. Ding. So we've got iOS 10.
iOS 10 is the latest version for mobile devices, iPads, iPhones, coinciding with their phones that we'll talk about later on.
And it supports all the way back to, I believe, iPhone 5.
Yes, but of course, your mileage may vary, and caveat tector. Do be careful, folks, if you are rocking an iPhone 5S. You may want to...
I am.
Yes, and as you approach that 16 gigabyte, some of you may have the 16 gig storage space capacity. That update may take up a huge amount of space.
But Chris, there's a new feature where you can remove the apps that were baked into iOS, kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of, and that's the asterisk behind that. I did a little bit of checking on that, and it's nice because I don't like having all these extra icons of compass,
stocks,
game center,
weather,
find my friends, tips.
Oh, tips.
Watch.
Oh, yeah, tips and watch. I totally...
That I don't even have a watch yet. You're going to put an app on my phone? Thanks, guys. Basically, if you long press, it can do a little jiggle, and then you can not delete them, but hide them.
Hide them, which is okay. It's baked into the OS itself. You're not going to be able to rip it out, but... it's nice. It cleans things up, but it's still technically kind of there.
And so I'm able to remove the default Mail app from my screen.
Oh, what are you doing if you're doing that?
I go, if today's Monday, I will have Airmail a free app. I think it's free. An app. No, actually, that one's a $5
I was going to say, I
one.
think you have to pay for that one.
Yeah, so either that, Airmail, Spark, the Inbox by Google, the Gmail. I'm just kind of go between them all just to see what's the experience like, because I want to advise my clients. So I don't need the actual default mail app, so it's hidden. However, folks, if you do delete an icon or remove an icon, you can always go into the App Store, type in the first few letters of the app, such as if you wanted to do Compass, COMP, there's Compass in there, and it'll just bring it back to the home screen. One thing though, I got one feature that I found really helpful for iOS 10.
Okay.
This upgrade was great for one particular reason for me in general. In the clock app, there is an additional feature called Bedtime, and it helps you. It gives you a little bit of a go to sleep, little tone, a half hour before you're supposed to go to bedtime. When you wake up, you're not blasted with the loud, full volume music. It actually has a number of sound, but it will fade in, which is a wonderful way to wake up in the morning. So one of my favorite features, the bedtime addition to the clock app.
Nope, I totally agree, and I'm going to take 30 seconds on that one. I use it, and also what I like is that it feeds it into health. So you actually have a record in health of like how many hours you get of sleep per day, per week, and I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's probably not as good as, say, like your fitness tracker, because that's going to see if you toss and turn. But I mean, as a bare bones, like, oh wow, my newborn son kept me up, and I'd only got 3.5 hours of sleep. Gee, I wonder why I'm drinking so much coffee. It's nice. So, agreed.
So next on the lightning rounds is iPhone 7.
Woohoo! Same kind of shiny with bigger price tag. So recently a friend of mine asked me, it's like, oh, what do you think about the new iPhone 7? I'm like, cool, it's a new iPhone 7. Yay. I mean, yes, you get a more depth of field, a more sensitive sensor, and all this other jazz on the camera, because that's what Apple does. They tout about the camera. But realistically speaking, it's the same thing.
But AJ, what about the colors? The colors, man, the colors.
Woot.
Okay, fair enough. So you get some additional colors to choose from, folks.
Yes, you get what is it? Not space blue. Jet black.
Matte black.
Okay.
And for those of you that like darker phones, well, now there you go. But for those that are in iPhone 5 land and you're for an upgrade, consider this. You can go with the latest and greatest phone, and that will be cool. There's nothing wrong with mid-tier, ladies and gentlemen. The iPhone 6 series, the iPhone 6S series are amazing beasts of hardware, and they'll be a little bit easier on the price tag in the initial payment. One thing to keep in mind, folks, the 16 gigabyte phones will probably be the lowest price.
And should not be used.
Because if you can afford it in your budget to go up to 32 or 64 gigabytes of space in your phone,
do it.
Right. Lots more room for photos, lots more room for operating system updates, lots more room for backing your phone up.
The 4K video that you really want to shoot with these.
Yes. And so I see many people now that are feeling the effects of a 16 gigabyte phone. They're not able to take pictures when they want to, and then we get to get creative on what app can I get rid of, or what app can I clear the data from. So as if you're considering upgrading, sure, if you want to go with the new shiny, go with the 7, but the 6S series
save money
is really a beast.
It's nice. I mean, you have one, don't you?
I have an iPhone 6S Plus, the 5.5 screen, and I'm probably going to be waiting until the 8S. I don't usually do the raw number, like the number. I will do the S version just because they improve upon what they didn't get right.
Right.
And so I'm in it for a couple years, maybe longer, because I'm so thrilled with this device. It's really cool.
I agree. Like I said, I don't know. Like I have mixed feelings about the 7. Like, I mean, yeah, the camera's good if you're trying to shoot low light and you want to have a nice point and shoot when you're out, hitting the town, or if you're in a dark atmosphere, cool. But realistically speaking, I mean, I would save the money, personally.
And save the money, dedicated. You could kick up your iCloud amount quota, or get an external Bluetooth device instead of those AirPods that were $150. That anyway.
Well, and I mean, a lot of the times, like for me, like right now, we're recording this with headphones and stuff. The new iPhone 7 has no headphone jack, and yes, I understand that Apple is trying to push us towards digital audio and Bluetooth 4.0 and all this other jazz. I get that, but we're not there yet. And I kind of feel Apple jumped the gun on this one.
I think So I've had Bluetooth earpieces that don't need a headphone connection. I've had those for about 4 years since pretty much they came out, and they look dorky. Yes, whatever, but I'm not paying $150 for something that's white sticking in my ears with something hanging down from them. I'm going to look like Uhura from the original Star Trek.
I'll be monitoring your frequencies.
There you go. But for a Bluetooth, one could be acquired from Amazon or somewhere for $15 to $20.
Yeah.
4 hours talk time or use. Okay, so let's talk. The AirPods are premium devices.
They are.
For those that aren't premium like the rest of us, we can get away with non-headphone jacks and Bluetooth earpieces to be able to listen to our music, no problem.
Sure, but also in some vehicles you don't have Bluetooth. I know a lot of my friends use aux-in.
Yep.
So I mean that's a deal breaker. So that's why I said I think I like the concept. I understand the concept. I don't think the concept is foolproof yet. And
one more reason to get a 6S because that still has a headphone jack.
Yep, and you save money.
There you go.
Moving on, Apple Watch 2 and watchOS.
Okay, well, if we're going lightning rounds, it's software improvements to something I'm slowly backing away from.
I didn't know you were slowly getting closer to it.
No, I am just not. I cannot see myself dropping $250, $300, $400, $500 for a watch. Yeah. And I know about timepieces, and I know how it integrates, and I know how it'll be a wonderful everything to me, but I'm not there yet. The Watch 2, watchOS 2, wonderful to have improvements where apps aren't tethered to a phone. They can run independently, and they got away from a lot of the cutesiness of the first watchOS with some particular improvements, but it's a watch, and I will. Well,
I will correct you on that. It's not really a watch. It's actually a very fancy, very expensive fitness tracker. I mean, they're touting the fact that it's water resistant. You can swim this thing now. It's for me. I see it as a luxury sports device. I mean, that's the long and short of it. Now, with it, they did do one improvement. They made a ceramic version of it. That replaces the high upper echelon, the $7,000 white gold, yellow gold, pink gold version, the premium Apple Watch. And I figured that wasn't too long for this world because, again, this is not a watch in a traditional sense. You're not going to have the movement in this thing, used or replaced. So,
for those that have some health conditions, that a watch may be able to monitor certain areas, that would be a great expense.
Totally different conversation.
If you are a semi-pro runner or a really avid runner like we are avid techs, this may be a great device to have with you to really log and get accurate information on your workouts.
Again, totally different conversation.
And the conversation we're having now, not my cup of tea. Yeah. I'm pretty cool with analog, quote unquote, battery powered, the watch that's on my left wrist. So let's move on to Google and Android.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited about this topic because, what is it, October 4th is the big announcement that kind of already been leaked, the fact that we're going to have a Google Pixel phone?
Yes. So the Nexus line of Google phones were devoid of the crapware that's normally installed on most Android phones. It is fairly streamlined, pretty solid. All of the updates for operating systems for Google Android would go to the Nexus devices first. And I had a Nexus 5 back in the day, and I loved it. It was a great phone, rock solid, looked good, performed well, did not bork on me, or I didn't have to do any factory resets to get back to a reasonable thing. They are rebranding for Pixel. And could we come up with a little bit better of a marketing name? I guess I'm still in the manly sense of it's a Pixel phone. I'm not there yet.
But they have the Chromebook Pixel. They have the Pixel tablet. I mean, it fits within their unified branding, and I think what they're trying to go for is, when you talk to somebody, I have an Android phone. They don't say Google. And I think that what they're trying to, and with the Nexus, I should rewind a little bit. The Nexus wasn't really branded Google. It was a joint partnership with Huawei or Samsung or LG. This is Google branded Google Pixel. And I think that's what I feel like they're trying to do, is they're trying, because Samsung's dominating, except for their exploding phones, dominating the Android market, okay? And so I think what they're trying to do is get their own affinity their name back with their operating system.
What a great name for a phone line, the Affinity phone.
Affinity phone.
You just said it. You just nailed it. Hey, Google, next time when you're done with the Pixel line, go with Armageddon.
Wow, tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, I'll tell you how I really feel. Pixel just doesn't do it for me. Pixel's one little bit of an entire screen.
Actually, I think it's 8 bits by 8 bits.
Thank you. So, anyway, Pixel phone, it will be wonderful hardware specs. It'll be a wonderful operating system. Nougat is a code name for the latest version of Android. And for those of you that have older Android phones, you will see a completely noticeable change in your performance and the ability of what you're able to do on your phone. If you've owned an Android phone for 3 or 4 years, you may want to consider upgrading or updating your device.
If I had the ability, I would reach for a flushing sound now.
We don't have that sound effect. But I know that for Android phones, some people in this world just want to make phone calls
Absolutely.
and text message and take pictures. There are apps and there are operating systems that are being developed now that they're fixing the bugs in the software. And if you're running something that is 3 or 4 years old, you're also running something that may not be getting the latest operating systems. I'm concerned about that. For my Android friends out there, you may want to consider doing an update. And if your contract enables it, they're going to be fairly priced. I would imagine around $399, $400 for a phone. But you're going to have a much better experience with these Google, I'm going to call them Google phones. The 5-letter P word that they're marketing, I'm not going to utter that one.
I gotcha.
So anyway, lightning round.
Cool. No, so that ties into Android Nougat, which is the current / future operating system. I mean, it's tasty. The reason why I say future is because we've kind of heard on the skinny that there's no new Android announcement. So it's kind of like Nougat with some caramel. I don't know.
There's a couple of reports that I've read where they are making steps towards merging the Chrome OS browser, like the Chrome.
I've heard these rumors.
And Android, and they're going to call it Andromeda.
I don't see it.
Okay, but I'll take Andromeda over Pixel.
Sure, I hear you, but I don't know. I don't see those. I see where they can dovetail into each other, but why not just make everything Android at that point? Why have Chrome? Why have Chrome to start with?
Because Android was an open source operating system, right?
So is Chromium.
But they have a Chrome browser. They have a Chrome. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, they were both open. I get it. I've heard that rumor several times, but I don't understand why. If they're going to merge it, they might as well just make it Android. That's kind of my feeling.
That could work. But at least for Android Nougat or Android version N, in continuous updates to your Google Life, with the interface, it's cleaner. Yeah. The search capabilities, it's more tied into your multitasking, and the split screen view, I believe, in some cases.
Multi-screen.
Yeah.
I think is what anyway, let's move on from that, and let's go to Halt and Samsung catch fire.
Right. So Samsung Note 7 in recent news reports have had a worldwide recall of phones that explode and catch fire. So dang. I'm sorry, guys. If you have a Samsung Note 7, you may want to take a hard look at getting it recalled. Yeah,
and on top of that, it is not just worldwide, but it is mainstream media has picked this up. Matter of fact, if you get it on an airplane in the continental United States, I have been told one of the first things they say is you put your device into the airplane mode. If you have a Samsung Note 7, please turn off and do not charge while you are on this flight. They flat out announce that because of the explosion of their batteries. But no, this is a genuine concern from what the reports that I've seen, and I haven't seen the white paper, so I don't have all the tech spec, but from what we can tell, basically it's actually the charging circuit in the phone does not set the right amperage to a battery that is underpowered for the device. So if you have overpower, think of it this way, you're putting more gas in your gas tank can handle. It's not a good thing.
Bottom line, I think AJ and I are both in agreement. Folks that are considering an Android phone or tablet for this holiday season, take a hard look at the Play Store, the Google Store, for the phones that they have available. You may be able to use it on your carrier, Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile or Sprint. But take a hard look at the Google line, because I have a feeling, and who knows what might happen once they get released, but the Pixel phones or something that's Google branded will give you a far better experience than what another company would be making, like Sony, LG, Samsung, that you would buy from a carrier store.
Yeah. I mean, going forward, you definitely want to try to get it from the source. I mean, not to say that, you couldn't have bought this from like a Samsung store, but, going forward, a lot of these tech companies are pushing the boundaries when it comes to safety. They're trying to cram as much as they can into these things to quote unquote compete with Apple, because they see Apple as the big dog, whatever. But this was disconcerting to read about. And the fact is that Samsung took forever to issue this recall. From what I read, it looked like they were trying to contain it because they didn't think it was outside of Korea. And that was a bad call.
They should hide something on the internet.
It's an unlocked phone that has all bands in it. Like this, you can't tell me that you thought you could contain this world phone. No, it was a bad call. And on top of that, a lot of people got confused. Like they didn't know if to take it back to the carrier or did they have to send it into Samsung. There was bad and misinformation. And so if you have a Note 7, I would encourage you to at least go into your carrier store immediately and say that this is under a recall and you heard it from two guys on a podcast and you would like to know more. If anything, please just do that, because we don't want to see any of these things exploding. Chris and I have had too many experiences with lithium-ion batteries going wrong.
Yep. So what's next?
Next is still in Android-ish land. Sorry, is that kind of cough on my London fog. It's a little bit smoky in London. The Gear S3 smartwatch. So this is the Samsung version of the Apple Watch, kind of. I don't know what to say about this.
Dude, you're the watch guy. Take it.
Okay, so I have to say, if I had my choice of a digital crown or a digital bezel, I like what Samsung did. Basically, if you look at the S3, the bezel on the outside moves, and that's how you do your crown functions that you do on like the Apple iWatch or Apple Watch. I like that concept because if you're familiar with a dive watch, you're used to setting a bezel, and on top of that, because you're pinching the outside, you have a clear view of the screen. It is a cool idea and it's a novel thought, but I don't like smartwatches, so.
If someone wanted to get a smartwatch for Christmas, what would you recommend? Folks, you should see the gears turning in his brain right now.
Yes, my analog gears.
And he's attempting to come up with words that will still keep this podcast clean.
Thank you for reading my mind, Chris.
Yes.
Look, okay, here's what I got to say about smartwatches. If you're a fitness nut, get one. Get one that you're comfortable with. I have no beef with that. If you're wearing it for day-to-day operations because you think that your wrist vibrating is going to make you more efficient at checking your email and text messages, you're way too connected in your life, okay? Here's the thing. If you want a smart watch that maybe you want a pedometer, something basic, and you want something that tells time, because that's what a watch is supposed to do, because your phone is going to tell you who texted in your email and you're going to type those type of things or use your voice or whatever. You have your phone on you. That's the mode of communication. The watch, not so much. But I get the fitness tracking. There is a company called Alpina. They're a Swiss watch company. They are part of the Frederic Constant group. And Frederic Constant also has one as well. But they have a horological smartwatch. And what this is an analog, actual Swiss quartz watch with Bluetooth connectivity. And what this means is that you have a real analog watch with, at least 6 months of battery. You don't have to charge this thing every night. It's a real watch. And it's quality made. It's made in Switzerland. Both of them have the ability to track your steps, and they have integrated app stuff. I would much rather look towards something like that than one of these smartwatches that are running either Apple's OS or Android's OS, because, again, we all know at the end of the year, it's going to be dated. You're not going to get the updates. And this watch, you have to charge it every night. Like, if I forget to charge my watch, I have this thing that's dead on my wrist. It's unfunctional. That's not the point. But I understand. Why some people want to have the ability to track their steps and they don't want to have a phone on them when they do it. Totally cool. Look at horological smartwatches. It's the best combination of both analog and digital with added functionality without the obnoxious notifications, in my opinion.
Well said. All right. So how about we go to the living room?
To the living room. So
where we all hang out.
Yes.
It looks like now, Mr. PlayStation, there's some new devices coming out.
Yeah.
That Danny had talked about.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts for the upcoming holiday season and what maybe?
I already threw down. Thank you, Danny, for making me spend money. So I went out on Friday night because my wife was listening to my conversation with Danny. And she said, "Why don't you go get a PS4?"
Wow.
Yeah. Here's why. Is that it came with one of our favorite game franchise, Uncharted 4. The new PS4 Slim, the newest, latest, greatest that Danny mentions. It had one of my favorite games already bundled. What's nice about the PS4 is the PS4 Slim is that you get 500 gigabyte hard drive by default. You have, the same old. You get a controller. You get Uncharted 4. You also get an HDMI cable in this.
That's nice.
Yeah, what device ever gives you an HDMI cable? Now, I already had one, but thank you. It also comes with an earpiece for if you want to do chat online and stuff. But one of the nice things about the PS4 is, this thing is small. Like, if you looked at the original PS4 and you're like, wow, that is a big hunk of brick. I actually took a picture of it next to my old PS3 Slim, and this thing is even smaller than the PS3 Slim. It is a good-looking piece of hardware, and if you're a gamer, it's just hard to. If you're gonna have a PS4, don't upgrade. That's. You're not getting anything going to the Slim. But if you don't have one, if you've been on the fence like I have, because I've had a PS3 Slim since it came out. This thing is got 6 years in it. And still works like a champ. But the thing is, I was on the fence to upgrade. This finally came. A $55 AAA title was packaged with it. That's a value savings for me. And the thing that I found out is you do not have to have with both Xbox and with the PlayStation, you have to now pay per month to do online gaming and a lot of the functionality. I found out that for the gaming part, that's true, but for the functionality, it's not true. I can still watch my Netflix without having to pay per month to Sony. I can still download games from the PSN network. I can pay for them. It's just the online play is disabled, which is cool. I'm fine with that. I can still sync up my leaderboard. I can sync up everything that I'm used to doing. So for me, I went in and got one, and it works out great for my application as a gamer. And there's also HDR functionality coming for HDR gaming and HDR stuff. The PS4 Pro is going to support PlayStation VR, which I'm not really interested in. As cool as it looks, not my cup of tea, because I like sharing. My wife watches me play, and having a headset that kind of goes against that. But also it supports 4K. Well, as much as I like that idea, Danny pointed out a good point. Do you have a 4K TV? Nope. Do I plan on buying one anytime soon? Nope. So it was kind of a no-brainer, a $300 console with a $55 game already packaged in it. Hey, giddy up.
Something for those parents to be blessing their kids at Christmas time.
Yeah, I really like it.
Very cool.
Moving on, because 4K is a theme with this thing, Roku came out with a whole bunch of new boxes.
Yes, and this is something I've noticed in my travels as a tech observer. Those who have an Apple TV, there's already a built-in Netflix app. Those who have a Chromecast, not necessarily. Those who have Amazon Fire Sticks may have something, but there's something about the actual smart televisions that have apps built in to that, you'll have Netflix and other things built in. It's a horrible interface.
And they're usually slow.
Sing along if you know the words, folks. The interface that you are trying to go get your Netflix TV show or movie is horrible. And Roku has a very wonderful, fun interface that will be updated and is affordable. Now, for those of you that may not have a smart TV, here's a $50 low-cost tech gift for the family that with your Netflix subscription or with other, it allows you to get that entryway without having to buy another device. I just find the Roku is a great alternative for those that don't want to get into the Apple ecosphere and those that don't want to get into the Amazon Fire ecosphere. Here's a way you can get your Netflix and have your cake and eat it too.
Yep. No, and I jumped on the Roku bandwagon long ago. Matter of fact, my Roku One is officially retired from the home theater lineup. The thing about Roku that's nice is if you want a lot of access to content and not pay a lot for it, they have an app for that. They don't call them apps, they call them channels. But, you can get your PBS, you can get HBO Now, HBO Go, you can get Crunchyroll TV and all these other apps that not necessarily is found on the Fire Stick or Apple TV, or you have to use an app for Chromecast. And on top of that, they introduced the Roku Express, a $30 option that, it plugs into HDMI, go for it. If you have an older TV and you're like, I don't have HDMI, hey, they still support composite. I always get those mixed up. The RCA jacks, so you can get it to an older TV. Cool. I don't know anybody. I mean, that'd be kind of cool watching Stranger Things, a 1980s rendition of a TV show on a 1980s television. But hey, if that's how you float your boat, awesome.
That's a Mobius strip.
It is. Very meta. But also, of course, they came out with a 4K option. Very affordable. It's a little over $100. Again, as more and more of these vendors create opportunities to get 4K content, we're going to see more and more of that come down the pipe. And, it's not here yet. You don't have to rush out and get one. But again, I just like to point out, you don't have to get a 4K set-top box. If you don't have a 4K TV, it doesn't work. If you only have a 1080p, you only got 1080p.
Well, the point is, if the barrier to entry is becoming less and less for getting content that doesn't involve a cable TV subscription. And all you need with your home wireless internet, this is now a $30, $50 affordable way to be able to consume content in your home entertainment family room.
Yep. Moving on, Amazon Echo V2. Hello,
Yeah.
Alexa.
Yeah. I'm just not down with something always listening to me.
Why is that?
Because I'm just a private person, and I.
As you do a podcast.
As I do a podcast, but AJ, I'm very careful about what I say, because I represent my family, I represent my workplace, I represent the church that I go to, and I choose not to go off like Sam Kinison. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
If I don't like something, and some of y'all who paid attention to BPM know that I don't like certain things. I don't want everything being recorded and used against me to sell me ads. And so while, and quite honestly, I haven't been impressed with Amazon's library of music, and to have a personal digital assistant tell me what the weather's like, that's what my phone's for, and to order me some products or something like that, that's what a website's for. I like clicking order, not have it done by my voice.
I hear you. And the thing about the Amazon Echo V2 is, one, I like the dot version where you can plug it into your own sound system if you elect to have the Amazon music experience, feel your living room and stuff. The thing that I'm interested about Alexa is actually Alexa, not the actual hockey puck or the tower or anything. I find that they're the only company that is making a play for, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I would like Earl Grey, hot. And then 2-day Prime shipping, it shows up on my door. But I find that interesting. Like in sci-fi, we always had the automaton house where you just have to speak it and all of a sudden your blinds open and stuff. Apple doesn't really have that. Cortana on Microsoft isn't really there yet. And I find it interesting that here is a product delivering company that made this little trinket, after a flop of a phone. Let's face it, the Amazon Fire Phone was a horrible idea. But they came out with this, a digital automaton assistant for your home, and it's affordable, and there's no barrier to learn this thing. You just talk to it, and that is interesting to me. Do I own one? No. Will I own one? Probably not, unless I can make my Earl Grey hot. But I like the idea, and I like the fact that it's affordable. You can play with it. It's, playing with the smart home concept. It's all right.
It's a way to get a glimpse into the future, but
it's not prime time.
It's not prime time, there's still the privacy issues.
Sure, I agree.
We can do a whole nother episode on that one, but I'm just really private. When I'm at home, I don't want to be held accountable for everything that I say, because I talk out of my butt on a regular basis at home.
or worse yet, if you're listening to a podcast and you have an Amazon Echo and you say the words, "Hey, Alexa, I'm going to put a pause in there in case somebody is doing that with our show. It's a buzzword, and of course there is no real button interface. I mean, you can push the button on like the dot version of the Echo, but if it is always listening, that is one downfall to this, is it's always listening, and so it's looking for that call. Same thing with Hey Google, or I can't remember what Siri's is.
Hey Siri.
Oh no, it's okay.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway,
Here we say.
Yeah, you have to start speaking in Pig Latin when you refer to them. So anyway, Amazon Echo V2. If you're big in the Amazon Ecoverse and you like having a little digital assistant that's always listening and can control your home theater audio wise, hey, look at it. It might be a fun stocking stuffer, especially the dot version.
Well, we're just plowing through all these lightning round tech things.
Heck yeah, tech yeah. We got 2 more coming up, and the second to the bottom is drones.
Starting to see a couple of these drones around.
Yep, and of course, if you haven't heard, the FAA opened up they're a little bit more lenient with regards to how you can pilot your drones. Last December, if you remember, you had to actually be a licensed quote-unquote drone operator with the FAA. They waived the fee if you signed up. And what that does is that you have to have a little sticker that you put up on your drone and stuff. And what's really interesting between last Christmas and this Christmas is size and cost of these things. Because last Christmas, you're looking at throwing a couple G's to get a good rig with a camera and doing some really fun stuff. Now... And they're big. I mean, did I mention they're big? Like, you need a backpack just to carry one drone. Now you can stick this in the back pocket of your backpack. Both GoPro and DJI. DJI is well known for their Phantom, or the white copter that pretty much everybody mocks. They came out with the DJI Mavic. Mavic was the old Sony cameras. Mavic. And this thing, when first of all, it folds up, so you can bring it with you. Their whole idea is that you want it small and compact, so you do take it with you so you can do cool stuff, which I agree with. That's cool. But also, you can use it with just a smartphone. You don't have to have a fancy controller. Your range is limited if you do that. You can buy a dedicated controller that also folds up. Very compact kit. And you're walking out the door for like a little over a G for a full rigging with 4K.
Have they invented Costco yet?
Costco?
Does Costco sell drones yet?
I don't know. Good question. We should find out.
Once Costco has drones in stock
and bundled,
then it will be mainstream.
Deal.
Yeah.
So anyway, look for the DJI Mavic. I thought it was really cool looking. I do not own a drone. I do have my license for drone operation, but I was actually the Mavic interested me because it looked like an old Kickstarter that I saw. There was a Kickstarter a couple years back for the Spark. And this was a backpacker's designed drone. It was actually a cylinder about the size of a Nalgene bottle with not a quadcopter, but a dual copter. It had 2 props. And I liked their concept. And I don't know what happened to their Kickstarter. Hopefully they got funded, because this basically knocks them off, really. It is you get like some 20 hours of flight, or 20 minutes rather. 20 hours would be awesome. 20 minutes of flight time on this thing, and it's compact, and it's going in the right direction or the wrong direction if you're concerned about drone operation, but it's cool. I mean, I was pretty enthralled with it. Any other thoughts on that?
I have a friend who is in the drone shipping business down south.
Those are the big drones, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when the time comes when I can have something from my phone that the drone is up about 100 feet and can see the traffic flow on my way home, so I can avoid a particular street or road construction. Yeah, Google Maps is great, but when I can get like eyes on, there's a backup going on there, then I'm in.
Giggity. Yeah. So the other one that came out was made by the company that is known for their indestructible cameras. GoPro came out with Karma, and they did not get very good karma in announcing this, because they announced before DJI did, and everybody was talking about GoPro, the Karma, it's really cool, and then DJI like a week later came out with their Mavic, and nobody's now talking about the GoPro. I feel sad for that company. The Karma, the difference between it and the Mavic is, one, it's a little bit more expensive, but 2, the Karma has a removable gimbal. So
what's a gimbal?
A gimbal is a thing where if you have a camera on the end of it, it's like a gyro. So you have very smooth video. It's very important for drone photography and very important for just if you're getting steady. It steadies your hand because as steady as you think you are, you're not. And we all seen shaky cameras. It's no bueno. So what the Karma does is it actually has a gimbal that you set into the drone. The drone flies and it gets steady video and it comes back. And then if you want to not fly a drone, you can take this gimbal, put your GoPro on it, stick it on your helmet, and now you can surf the slopes or not surf the. Sorry, carve the slopes.
Yeah, that'll
okay.
Hit the slopes.
Hit the slopes.
Thank you very much.
Huck some powder, whatever your sport of choice is, but it's really buttery smooth. It's a really cool idea. Basically, it's an all-in-one solution because a lot of people, you buy a powered gimbal and you buy a drone, and this kind of combines the two. So, cool idea. We'll see who wins during the holiday season. I mean, GoPro has a lot of clout. A lot of people know the brand. DJI, you may not have heard that, or you just seen the white drone with the red stripes and didn't even know that was made by DJI,
They're the darlings of the drone industry.
Exactly. So we'll see. It'll be interesting.
And that's been your tech lightning round.
Woohoo!
All right, so let's talk about another Bellingham district.
Yeah. So what's going on?
So the next district in our progression is the Puget district, which is kind of around Lakeway, around that Lakeway zone, kind of east of I-5, and so. A secret weapon or a cool place to go, and there are plenty of great places to go in the Puget neighborhood. There's not one that involves an eatery for me.
I don't have one for an eatery as well, so I'm interested to see.
Fair enough. So I'm a big fan in the Fred Meyer parking lot of the auto licensing tab pickup place. Here's
really?
why.
Okay.
Here's why.
Okay.
You've been to DMV.
Yes.
You've gotten the gray hairs waiting for the DMV to get your license, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
Once, and if you have more than one car in your household, twice a year, you're going to have to visit this place. You can go online, renew your tabs, pay for it online, simply go up, hand them your, I'm here to pick up my tabs. They look up your name, boom, you're out. 3 minutes. They're friendly. They don't know my name, but it's the best place in the Puget district.
Groovy. Okay,
yeah. in the Fred Meyer zone, the Bellingham auto licensing.
So that would be a time hack.
A great way on your lunch break to not have expired tab tickets.
I would advise everybody to just do it on the DOL Express site and just have it mailed to you in advance. But if you're in a pinch, that is a good tip.
But I like actually getting them and getting my thing delivered to me.
I don't like people. I just would rather have it delivered.
That's my line normally. All right, AJ, where's your favorite spot in the Puget district?
So mine, actually, you've turned me on to them. I didn't even know they existed, and I haven't done business with them. But I just want to put their name out there because it's one of those things where it's nice to know that we have one in the community. The name of the place, it's a local place called Time Concepts Bellingham. You and our colleague Kevin pointed them out to me, and I didn't realize that we had a local watch guy or clock guy. If you look up their website, if you have, for instance, let's say you have an old cuckoo clock, like one of those things that your great-grandmother twice removed, you inherited, and it hasn't worked in years. Give this guy a holler. This is a guy who's in our community. It's not a Ben Bridges. It's not, if you have something that needs to be worked on, he might be able to do it for you.
This is a fine gentleman. I've had numerous watches repaired and batteries replaced. He's a fair price, speedy service. He's a wonderful, friendly gentleman. And you are astounded at the amount of clocks, and they're all synchronized at the same time.
Boy, I was.
Yeah.
When you took me in there, I was like a kid in a candy store. I'm like, oh, shiny.
Yes, exactly. So as your Time Concepts, as you're going to the North I-5 on-ramp from Lakeway, it's over on your left.
Yeah.
So before you hit the accelerator to go full blast onto I-5, take a look on your left. That's where you can get your watch and or clock replaced.
Yeah.
Great place.
Yeah, so that was my pick.
Right on. All right, let's wrap this up.
Woohoo! So, Chris, if somebody wanted to leave us a listener voicemail, how would they go about that?
Get on your phone, dial area code 201-731-8324. That's 201-731-TECH. and you can leave us a voicemail, give us an update on something, ask us a question, give us some feedback, let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear from you, and try to be nice about it.
Yeah. Be like Danny.
That's right.
Be nice and geek out.
Thanks again to Danny for giving us a report from Tokyo, of all places.
Totes my goats.
That's right. So, one last thing.
Yeah.
Real quick, even more lightning. What is an app that you have found that you've had some fun with or success with you want to publish?
Ooh, okay. So mine is not an app this week. So in my project of building a watch, okay, I reached out to a local leather company here in Bellingham. They're over in Fairhaven, actually. They're called Found Leather Goods. And Nikki, if you're listening to the show finally, I'm totally giving you a holler. So I've been chatting with them because I want to make a watch strap, or I was looking for somebody to make me a watch strap. And I was talking to them, and Nikki is she's one of the owners of Found. And I was talking with her and stuff, and here is a really cool and good smelling shop, because if you like leather, boy howdy, go visit their studio. You go in there and you just get this beautiful smell of the leathers and the stuff that they make. They make bags. I have a key fob for my motorcycle. That's just this awesome handmade leather key fob with brass tacking in it, and it's just it's manly. It's awesome. But the holiday season coming about, and here is a local shop that you can get something that's locally made, handcrafted. Awesome people, reasonably priced. Anyway, I digress. The tech aspect of this, they have a Kickstarter. And
really?
Yeah, they have a Kickstarter. If you go up on Kickstarter and you go under their projects and you do a search for Found Leather Goods, Found on a Journey, you can find their Kickstarter and support them. They've been up for, I can't remember, a couple weeks now, and they're like 3/4 funded already. They're trying to raise funds to get more. You can get some really cool, one-of-a-kind stuff if you back them on Kickstarter, but they're trying to upgrade their sewing machines and stuff. So anyway, I've had a real pleasure talking with Nikki and stuff, and I just wanted to give her and her company a shout out, because having a leatherware, something that you can talk to the person who handmade something, or if you want to have something a little bit more tricked out, like my key fob, right? I want, no offense to them, but a lot of their key fobs are very feminine. And on my manly motorcycle, I did not want something purple and rawhide.
Why not?
Not my thing.
Not
and
your
so,
thing.
I mentioned it to her, and she whipped one up for me. And I was really appreciative of that. So, Found Leather Goods over in Fairhaven.
Great place to check out unique Christmas gifts.
Exactly.
So I got one quick app to talk about. Speaking of keychains and key fobs, I absolutely detest those plastic little things, those loyalty card things.
Amen, brother.
And to see all those cluttering a key ring that you use it once in a blue moon.
Cluttering? Mine always break off.
Fair enough. There's an app called Stocard, Stocard, in which all of your loyalty cards can be scanned, and the readers in the stores can use your phone instead of having those plastic little whatchamacallers. So I've transferred most of the family's loyalty cards on there, and it's right there on my phone where I always have it with me. So Stocard, check it out in the App Store or on the Google Play Store.
Fantastic.
There you
Take
go.
a breath. This was a very long... If you're listening to this and going, holy moly, this is a dense episode, we're catching up for lost time.
Or you can play it back at 0.5 or like double speed where we talk real slow.
Or really fast, and it sounds like AJ when he has a lot of espresso in the morning.
Right. All right, cool.
So let's. If somebody wanted to stalk you, Chris, where would they find you on the interwebs?
Oh, heck. Google Chris Powell Bellingham, and that is pretty much the top 10 sites just about our places and things that I've done. So,
hey, what about Wacom Workflow? How's that going?
It's going well. Got some wonderful professionals that I've been able to interview, lots of unique perspectives on technology and how you get your work done, and really interesting insights into places to go around Whatcom County and why people do what they do.
Awesome.
So how does one check you out on the web, AJ?
Oh, they can check me out on 500 Pix, and if you like the Pacific Northwest and photography, or even if you don't, you should check me out. It's 500px.com/AJ Barse, or you can just go to my website, ajbarse.com, and you'll find every place that I'm at on the interwebs. Yep. So thank you so much for tuning into this edition of BPM Tech. We greatly appreciate you tuning into us every week or every time that we do this. We are located on iTunes. We are located on the Google Play Podcast Store. We're located on SoundCloud or Spreaker. That's Speaker, but with an R. And we do this freely. So thank you so much for rating us and reviewing us. And if you haven't, please do. It just helps get people to know what we do on our show and the fact that people love us, or they don't love us, which if you don't love us, please don't review us. Anyway, well, in that regard, I'm AJ Barce.
And I'm Chris Powell. Thanks again to the Levis Street Coffee House for hosting us for this podcast, and thanks for listening.